In this video, we'll talk about what it really means to be unforgettable. Not just liked, not just followed, but whispered about in rooms you haven't even entered yet, and how you can apply all of this into your life and start to attract that level of respect and become unforgettable. The most powerful reputation is the one that walks into rooms before you do and speak for you when you're silent. The first time I heard that statement from a senior friend that I admire so much, it hit me so hard, and I was eager to have her unpack it for me. A lot of times we think we have to have achieved some level of success, but I learned over the years that most powerful rooms are already in motion. You just have to be the woman who makes it impossible to be overlooked. The problem we women face is that we are in these rooms. We do the work. We know that we are committed. We know that we are qualified, but somehow you still feel invisible, diluted by doing too much, or shrinking because you don't want to come off as too much. I have learned that working hard, putting in all the work, being the last one to sign out of work, doesn't give you that reputation. It doesn't give you that influence. Ladies, if you ever felt like your value gets missed or misread, this is where it ends. What I've learned over the years is that the women who are whispered about, they don't hustle for it. They don't beg for it. They don't chase after it. What they do, they radiate clarity. They have mastered their value currency so much that what they carry cannot be copied. You can't mistake what their values are. You can't mistake what they stand for. You can't mistake what they bring to the table. Becoming that woman is not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about you codifying what makes you unshakable. And the shift happened for me when I stopped performing expertise and I started refining my essence. So how do you become the kind of woman that is whispered about in rooms that you haven't even entered? Well, here's something I use. I call it the currency clarity map. It's a 4-layer value inventory system. The first one is your innate power. What's that trait that you have that makes you unique from other people, that has become a part of you, that has become a core trait that defines who you are? Identify it and note it down. The second, social magnetism. This is that thing about you that draws people in without you trying. For some people, it's their energy, their voice. I remember years ago as a broadcaster, I used to feel very uncomfortable with the way my voice sounded. However, a senior colleague overheard my conversation with my friends about my voice, and this senior colleague of mine called me aside and said, "You might not have the sultry voice that you desire for, but you have a voice that is larger than life. Rather than look for how to replace your voice with something else, how about you embrace it and master how to use it?" And that blew me away. And ever since I heard that, not only have I embraced the way my voice sounds, I use it confidently, effortlessly. When I speak on radio, people come and say, "Oh, I want to meet the person who was speaking on radio." Come out and say, "Yes, that was me." They say, "No, the person is big, she's large." I ask, "How do you know she's large?" And they say, "Because of the way her voice sounds." That practically changed the way I saw myself. So what is that thing? What's that magnetic thing in you that draws people in without you even trying? Identify it and note it down. Third thing is the strategic differentiator. This is simply, what do you do differently? Your approach, your thinking, your elegance in execution. What's that system or way you handle things that is quite different from the way other people handle things? You might think it's nothing. It comes natural to you. However, there are people who wish they had your system, who wish they could handle things the way you handle things. That strategic differentiator is what makes you stand out of the crowd. And number 4, it's the proof of resonance. That feedback loop that keeps repeating itself. When you have used these first 3 things to connect with people, to add value to people, what do people say about you when you're not there? How do people talk about the value you have added to their lives? When you put all of this together, you have a currency clarity map that helps you define, identify what your unique value currency is. Now ask yourself, what compliments do you always hear, but you brush it off? Tell yourself, no, it's nothing. What problems do people bring to you to help them solve, even when you're in position for it? You are the go-to person for certain things, whether it's in your friend's life, at work, amongst your circle, amongst your family members. When they have that particular problem, they reach out to you. When you ask yourself these questions, it will help you identify what your currency clarity is, map out what they are, so that you start to project yourself, you start to present yourself, you start to speak from your value, you start to lead with your value. So whether you are in that room or not, people remember what your values are. People remember what makes you extraordinary. And when they step into rooms where you are not, they are more encouraged to speak for you, to advertise you, to market you, to sell you to people in places and rooms that you haven't even been to, because not only have they identified what your values are, they have experienced it. It has impacted them. You have imprinted in them something that they cannot get elsewhere. This is what I want you to know. You don't need more noise. You need more clarity. Becoming the woman that people whisper about isn't a performance. It's power calibration. And it starts with defining your currency and leading with it everywhere you go, even when you're silent.